Welcome back, Longstreet artists, to your artsy studio under the sea. Aloha! This is our week 6 for creating art at home, our distance learning. If you need a mindful moment, pause this video and play our mindfulness and join us when you're done. When you join us back, let's go over our 3 W's. Even at home, what are we doing? We take care of each other, we take care of our stuff, and we think like artists. That is correct, artists. I'm so glad you have joined me today. Today we are going old school, a type of art that has been in progress, in use for centuries, even longer than centuries. Your aunties and your uncles, your moms and your dads, your grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, so far back, this type of art, medium art, has been part of our cultures. It's weaving, and today we're going to be weaving with paper. So let's take a look at our goals today. We can first weave with paper is our goal. And 2, we can use the power of lines in our weaving to create patterns and rhythm. So let's take a look at a few examples I came up with for you to see what you want to create today. Oh, wait, before we show the examples, I have a few. Actually, 4. I have 4 did you know about weaving. Did you know weaving was invented around 6000 BC in West Asia? That's about 8,000 years ago. Did you know that parrotfish have woven enamel on their teeth? Not me, but parrotfish in the water, in the ocean, on their teeth, making them tough enough to munch up coral and pulverize the hardest rocks. Wow! Don't mess with parrotfish. Did you know that band weaving was the first type of weaving people in Central Asia were weaving with? So people in Central Asia were nomadic and couldn't carry large, heavy looms with them, so they used their fingers as a loom because wherever they went, whether they're on a horse or on an animal, they had their fingers with them instead of carrying a big old loom. So band weaving was the first type of weaving by nomadic people groups in Central Asia. Our last, did you know? Did you know that there are over 100 types of birds intricately weaving their nest? They're called weaver birds, not to be confused with Mr. Weaver. These are weaver birds. One of their nests can contain up to 1,000 grass stems. Pretty cool. On your teams, I'm going to have a few pictures of those weaver birds and their nests because they are such a cool design in nature. Throw back to last week with our land art, nature. All right, now let me show you our examples. So it's 3 levels of difficulty. The first one is the classic weaving, kind of like a placemat. And this can be for all grade levels, kindergarten through 5th grade. I had added a shape on top for extra design, but weaving, and this is 2-sided. So basic weaving. Second challenge, this would probably be for 2nd grade and higher. We have a heart weavings. And the highest difficulty challenge is a heart basket. And this is going to be more for my 5th graders, unless you have a mom or dad or somebody at home, if you're younger, that's able to help you, because it's a bit challenging. So you can even put things in it, carry it around, so pretty neat. Thinking about hearts, this week, well, next Sunday is Mother's Day. Now, not all of us celebrate Mother's Day, but if you do celebrate Mother's Day, you might want to think about using your art for a gift for your mom. Even those of you that don't celebrate Mother's Day, we still appreciate each other. So if there's somebody, a mom or granny or aunt that you appreciate in your life, you can always still give one to them just to let them know that you love them. All right, let's take a look at how to create these 3 levels of weaving. Let me turn our camera around. All right. I think that will do it. So we're focused. All right, we're ready to roll. All right, our first weaving, we're going to look at the classic let's go over our supplies too. So for a basic weaving, look to see what you have. I thought most of us probably have an old magazine in our house Again, ask permission from a parent before cutting up, or an advertisement. Here's one just for a baby company advertisement. So those are the type of paper I found. If you have blank paper, you're welcome to use that too, but not everybody might not have construction paper. If you do, you can even make it fancy by adding some color, lines, and shapes to it. So I'm going to put those to the side because I have some magazine pages I already prepared to use for mine. So again, this is the first level. This is the simplest, not that it's easy, but the simplest level of weaving. So this will be good for K through 5th grade students. All right, let's take a closer look. So I already have my magazine pieces ready to go. You want colors that don't match. They can complement each other, but different colors. That way as you weave, they don't blend in together. They don't become camouflage. We're going to start with the warp of our weaving. That would be like on the loom if you're doing a loom. So you take your first piece, and if you have a ruler, it's great. If not, it's okay. So you'll need magazine. You also might want to get a little glue today when you're done weaving if you don't want your pieces to fall apart. A pencil for making some marks, and then scissors for cutting. So those were our ingredients for art today. So paper, I'm using magazine paper, a little bit of glue, scissors, and something to mark. All right, so you're first going to take your paper for your warp, and then you'll see better what warp means here. You're going to fold it one time, hamburger style. Here's my opening. So on my opening, I'm just going to use my finger as a ruler. I'm going to bend it like this, and this equals about 1 inch. So I'm going to measure about 1 inch right here. And let me grab one of those magazines to use as my ruler edge. I'm going to draw a line. Now I'm using a dark marker so that you can see, but a pencil would be fine to use at home if that's what you have. So now I do not want to cut farther than that line because it will cut pieces. This is my loom. All right, so here's the open mouth. Here's my line on the open mouth. I'm going to cut from the fold to the line. About every inch. You can make it thinner or thicker. It's up to you, but I'm going to do about every inch. So to measure my inches, again, this is about 1 inch. If you have a ruler, great. If not, you can just use your finger like I'm doing. And I'm just estimating. If you like it to be closer to perfect, then you'll want to take your ruler and make those marks all the way. So now I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm going to cut from the fold to that line I drew. So here's my first little mark. So I'm going to cut, going slow to that line and stop on the line. Always cutting away from myself. Cut to the line and stop at the line. If I keep cutting, what will happen? That's right. My warp will fall apart. I want to keep it together. So stopping at the line, being careful of your fingers. So now when I open the mouth up, here's the mouth of my paper that opens. When I open it, I have my warp. Now it's time to make the pieces to weave through the warp. So they're going to be called the weft. So I'm going to put that aside, and now I'm going to make my strips for weaving. You can decide. I'm going to trim this edge up though. So it's a bit bumpy. If you like bumpy, keep it bumpy if you ripped it out. Up to you. It's your art. You're an artist and your ideas matter. So now I'm just going to make strips. You can decide. This is my second piece of paper. You decide whether you have thin strips, thick strips, maybe a mix of both. It's up to you. Now, if you're trying to keep a picture, you want to keep your strips in order. But if you're not trying to keep a picture together, you can just mix them all up. Just make a pile of them is fine. So I'm going to kind of scoop them to the side over here as I cut them. All right. My scissors are closed in their safety position, the mouth closed on those scissors. Lining up my pieces. All right, now it's time to weave. So I'm going to have my warp back, and it's going to be a pattern. So now we're going to use a pattern. If I start by going over, then I'm going to go under, over, under, over, and under, and then I'm going to slide it to the line. Now go back to check to make sure you didn't do double. If I had accidentally, for example, if I had accidentally had double over, so looking here, let's take a look. Over, under, over, under, over, over, uh-oh, so then I'd just go back and change it. All right, the next one we're going to do opposite for our pattern. So if I started over here, this time how am I going to start? That's right, so now I'm going to start under, and then I go over, under. The neat thing about this is if you are practicing, if you make a mistake, you just pull it out and start over. And then I scoot it over. There we go. All right, next piece. I started under on the last one, so this time I start over, under, over, under, over, under. Are you getting the hang of the pattern? Over, under? It's going to make what looks like a checkerboard. All right, that was over, so this time I start the opposite, which would be under, under, over. And sometimes you have to tell the paper who is boss. Under, over, under, and over, and scoot it on over. All right, next one. That was under, so this time I start over, over, under, over, under, over, and this time I'm ending under. Double checking to make sure I didn't accidentally go double underneath or double on top. All right, I'm good to do my next one. This one was over, so this time under, over, under, over, under, over. Do you see and hear the pattern? Under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. Scoot them over. All right, next piece. That was under, so this time over, under, over, under. All right, remember this is a video, so you can pause at any time. I'm going to see if I can squeeze my last one through here. If it doesn't fit, you can always trim it or just go ahead and end your weaving. Remember, we use our mistakes in art. That was over, so this time under. Whoop, and look at that one flipping up. It's all right, because I just told it to go back down. Telling them who is boss. Over, under, over, under, and ending with over. Ba-ba, there we go. Voila. So there we have a weaving. Our weft are the pieces we weave through our loom-like warp. Now, if you want to make sure your pieces don't fall out, go back and put a little bit of dot glue. If you have a glue stick, that works fine. This glue is pretty strong, so I'm just going to dot it with my finger. That one dot worked for 3 spots. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other pieces. And as it dries, make sure it knows to stay there. So I wonder what purpose your art is going to serve. Are you creating it for somebody or displaying your home? And there's our first level challenge. So again, this will be good for kindergarten all the way to 5th grade. Now, if you want to add a shape on top, you can. A circle, a square. This first one I did a heart on top because I was making it for my mom. This one, oh, the white might be fun too to do. Oh, I have a choice. It's already so busy with color, I think I'm going to do the black and white. I'm going to do a smaller heart this time. So I'm going to trim out the plant from my magazine piece. To make a heart, if you don't know the trick way, you're going to draw the letter J. It might be backwards, but it kind of comes on an angle up. And then that was drawn from my fold. So there was a fold. You draw that curved shape, or like a fish hook. I guess more like a fish hook than a letter J, because the J might be backwards. Follow my line along. And when I open it up, I have a heart. Now I don't want to cover up all my weaving, so I'm going to cut another heart. So here's my fold again. I'm holding my fold, and now I'm going to cut a parallel line along my original heart. Save this for another activity, another art project. I don't know what yet. I'm going to put my heart on here. Do you have to add a heart or a shape to yours? No. It's your art. You decide. You're the artist, and your ideas matter. I like to smooth that glue out just because it sticks down faster and doesn't smudge all over the place. So, if you flip, when you glue something with flipper, you can gently rub it to help it stick. All right, there's our first level. Now for my 2nd to 5th graders. If you want a next level challenge, 2nd to 5th graders, we have the heart weaving. Let me show you how. You can make it all different sizes. So again, for 2nd to 5th graders, let's take a look. Again, I already have 2 pieces from a magazine already clipped out for that. Do that little heart in the corner there. All right, so here we go. I'm going to double them up because I need 2, almost like a tall letter U. Again, for measuring, I don't have a ruler, so I'm going to, let's see how wide I can make it. Let me just start with a starting point. Can you see that point? You know what, let's go and show better for you to see if I do it on my yellow. All right, so let me measure for the width. So I'm going to go 1, and you decided. You can have it smaller or larger, but however wide it is, it needs to be double in height. So the width is going to be half of the height. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm going to do 4 inches for mine. So then that means double of 4 is 4 times 2 is 8. You got it. Let's measure 8 up for mine. So 1, 2, and you can see I'm just doing dots for my measurement, almost like inches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to draw a U. Here's half the U. I'm going to start in this dot down here. This is going to be half my heart. And I'm going to draw the other half of the heart here. Well, not heart. It's not a heart yet, but letter U. Or does it look like a letter? And U. No, sometimes my camera is upside down, so I'm going to double my papers together. That means I'll have matching shapes. So I'm going to hold them together. I'm going to cut out that U. And I chose a yellow and a red color on my magazines. I was looking through magazine pages as I was looking through, just for the contrast. All right, my scrap pile. All right, so now I have 2. Almost, they look like mountains now, don't they? All right, this is going to get a little tricky. So on your letter U, we're going to cut about halfway up. So if it's standing tall, your letter U, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, just to make sure, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Yep. So I'm going to split it in half. So 4 inches this way, 4 inches this way. If your shape is just 4 inches, then it'd be 2 inches. And I'm going to cut 3 lines. First down the center. So now it looks like I drew the letter T. And I'm going to split this half into 2 quarters. And this one into 2 quarters. But really it'd be eighths because of this side, right? And on those lines, I'm going to keep it doubled over. I'm going to keep my pieces of paper double. And now I'm going to cut up on my lines. When I get to the line connecting them all, I'm going to stop right there. So cutting up, away from myself. All right, now it looks like we have jellyfish. Jelly, jelly, jellyfish, jelly, jelly, jellyfish. All right, it's time for our weaving. Again, this one's kind of tricky, so be okay if it's not working out. Take it apart and try again. Trial and error. It's something new, right? So the same basic pattern of over, under, over, under. And you know what? It might help actually to kind of fold these up some. Oh, look at that. That might help. Now this one's going to be opposite. If this was over, and this time I'm going to start by going under. So under, over, under, over. Oh, and look, one somehow got a little shorter than the other. It's all right though. All right, here we go again. So that was under, so this time over, under, over, under. And trial and error. It looks like my heart, I probably should have gone a little further than half, but I'm still just going to go with it. So, with a little bit that's left, so I've made a bit of a mistake, but I'm going to keep my mistake. Use it. A little bit of glue will stay together. So for me, I'm going to make sure it's all slid up this way, so I can have as much space right here to go under on this one. There it is. Sometimes you have to work with it. And there is my heart. Voila! Again, so it doesn't fall apart on these last. So 2 on this side, and then I'll do 2 on the other side. A dot of glue. And usually you need to give the glue about 10 seconds to really stick. And then I saw right here where this one right here should be an over. There you go. Now on this side, dot of glue, dot of glue. And there we have weaved a heart. Because of the words here, it kind of is camouflage. That's why I said it's good to choose papers that are different colors. All right. Now for the 3rd level challenge. And if you're not making this 3rd level, there's no need. You don't have to continue to watch this. But this is going to be good for definitely 5th grade. Challenge even for them, 4th grade if you want to give it a try. And my younger students, if you want to grab an adult that you're living with when they have some free time and ask them if they'll do it with you. So this is going to be the heart basket. Again, this is going to be the highest challenge for the weaving today. And you can actually collect some flowers in it. Ooh, you could even sculpt some paper flowers. That would be cute. Or put some little treats to give somebody inside it. All right, so let's find out how to make. And this is our last one I'm showing you today. All right, so I already have my 2 different color magazine pages. It's going to be similar pattern as the large heart we just made, but we're going to double it. So here we go. I'm going to layer my 2 pieces of paper together, and I'm going to fold them one time, hamburger style. Nice fold. Here's my fold, and here's my mouth. I'm going to do that U again. Again, here's my fold. So from my fold, let's see how tall. Let me see how tall, and then I'll do half the width. So here we go. 1. I'm using my finger. If you have a ruler, that would be a bit more accurate, but I'm just still using a measurement. This one, I think I'm just going to do 4 inches. So to this mark here. So if this is the center, if that's 4, that means 1 inch, right? Because half of 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this side. So I'm going to measure an inch on each side, and then I'm going to make my capital letter U. If I would have scooted this over, I could have created 2 hearts out of this heart baskets. All right. Next up, again, this is the fold. Down here, I'm holding the fold. Make sure you're using the scissors safely. And this is the mouth of the paper that can open. Hello. Yeah, I turn my paper, put my scraps in my scrap bin for maybe some collaging. And now when I open it up, I have double. All right, I'm going to put it back together. I just did that so in the fold so you could see. So again, here's my mouth. Hello. Here's my fold. And now I want to make the marks for my cutting my strips. So last time we found I should have gone a little farther than half. So if there are 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, 2 would be half, but I want to go a little farther. So I'm going to go for 2.5. All right, from that 2.5, I'm going to make a straight line across and down the middle, the letter T. This section I'm going to split in half, and this section in half. Does yours look like that yet? Again, this is my fold here. Make sure my papers are stacked together. All right, here we go. Now we're going to cut along the lines to the line that connects all 3 lines. 1 cut, 2 cut, 3 cuts. Again, this is to make the heart basket. I am done with my scissors for now. All right, so when I separate them, I have 2 pieces. All right, we want to keep them folded. This one is challenging. So I have them both in my hands. I'm holding their mouths shut like they're a crocodile or alligator. I don't want them to bite me, so I'm going to keep their mouths shut because their power is all coming down. I'm going to open up this loop here. Again, if it doesn't work out the first time or 2, stick with it or see if an adult will help you. So I'm going to open this loop up, and the first one I'm going to go through the middle. The second one I'm going to do opposite. So now I'm going to open it up now. See how it's in the center? So that was through the middle, and now this time it's going to go on the outside. So the flamingo color one is going to go through the center. So still idea of over, under, but it's through, around this time. So the first one was through the middle, the second time was around the outside. So this time, this is the simpler one, is when you go through the middle. So I open up the middle, I go through the middle, and then the last one, I go around the outside. Whew, that is tricky, isn't it? Again, you're probably going to have to be practicing this. It might not go easy your first time trying it. All right, for the next one, I'm going to scoot it up a little so you can start to see the heart coming together, right? All right, where was that? Now I'm confused. All right, so here we go for the next one. See how it hooks on? All right, so I'm going to scoot it up a little. And here we go again. So if this one was through the middle the first time, so now I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to go, so that was through the middle this time, so this time I'm going to go around, so the outside, through the middle, around the outside, and I'm thinking I might have to take mine apart and make my cuts 3/4 of the way instead of just 2, because look, it's getting a little cramped, isn't it? It's cramping my style. So if you want to hang with me, you're welcome to. I'm going to actually take it apart. I'm still going to use the same colors because I like the colors, but the cuts I found need to be even larger. So I took it apart. I'm going to try it again. So I'm going to layer them up. Instead of taking my cuts just 2.5, I'm going to go all the way to this 3 line. So I'm going to take it up further so I have more space for weaving. So instead of getting upset, just taking a breather and trying it again. I didn't have to get new material out. This material is still good. I'm just extending my cuts now 3/4 of the way. All right. Let's try that weaving again. All right, they're my jellyfish. So here we go. So we're going to start by going through the middle. So through the middle, the second one's going to be around the outside. Through the middle, then around the outside. Scoot it up, now that I have more space. If this first one I started through the middle, the second one's going to be opposite for my pattern to make the rhythm. So I'm going to go around the outside. The second one, through the middle. This one, I'm going to open it up around the outside, so like almost like a hug, and then through the middle. All right, halfway done. Whew. Scoot it up. All right, this one is first around the outside. So this time, first I'm going to go what? Through the middle. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to go through the middle, around the outside. through the middle. Finish the third row around by doing what? By going around the outside, almost like a hug. So I'm getting it right in there. All right, 3/4 of the way done. Last one. Oh, it's naturally trying to do it. So this one was through the middle. So this time I'm going to start by what? Going around the outside. And then through the middle. Opening it up around the outside. And through the middle. Whew, that was tough even for me. I'm going to shimmy it back down. And this basket, you don't even need to use this heart basket glue for, unless you just want to really make it secure. If you want to add a handle, then you'll have to use glue. But there you go. Look, take a look in the pocket. Here's the pocket. I could put a treat in there. Maybe I need a pencil to give somebody. It holds my pencil. Maybe some flowers I collect. To add the handle, I'm going to just go back to my scraps, the same color. I think I want a bright handle, so I'm going to use the flamingo color. That is a strip, fold it in half. Depending on how tall you want your handle, you decide. And you're going to just put 2 dots of glue on each end, 1, 2. I'm going to glue it on the inside. So open up my basket. I'm going to glue 1 here and hold it about 10 seconds and then 1 on this side. So I'm going to hold those about 10 seconds so it knows to stay. Needs a little longer, 10 seconds to dry, but 10 seconds is enough for that glue to start hanging on. And voila, we have a heart basket. Again, this was the 3rd level of challenge. Definitely my 5th graders, I'd say, could be up for the challenge, but you decide if you want to try it too. So I hope you've enjoyed your ideas for weaving. We have our 3 different types. We have our classic for kindergarten, 5th grade. If you want a higher challenge, a challenge more than that, you can try out the heart, just single level heart, or the heart basket. All right, I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for joining me for creating this week for week 6 of our art activity. I'll see you on Teams. I hope to see some of your work there. Have a great week creating.